United are always a subject of fascination for people who love them, as millions do, and people who don't, as millions do. This year they've had Jose Mourinho, but still they're not really contending for the Premier League, and their best hope of getting into the Champions League would be to win the Europa League, which they have a very good chance of doing. But at the weekend, Zlatan Ibrahimovic said in a quote in the Sunday Times that don't blame Jose Mourinho, the players aren't good enough. And interestingly enough, Graham Souness is one of the best judges of the game in England, said something similar. He said Zlatan Ibrahimovic would be his footballer of the year, and added to that, that's a very bad sign for Manchester United. So where are they, and where are they going, if anywhere? I'm joined by Liam Brady and John Giles to discuss this. Liam, Ibrahimovic's comment was interesting. He said that the manager is doing 200% with the team he has. The players aren't good enough. It's an interesting observation from a player who scored 27 goals this year and defied my expectations, and I expect everybody's.
Yeah, well, I think they're pretty tight, him and Mourinho, aren't they? Yes. I think that's they've got a mutual society between them, and giving one another great compliments. And I suppose, I don't know whether this is a kind of an agreed kind of statement that Mourinho wants his help, but it looks like Ibrahimovic is saying that Mourinho needs a lot more money if he's going to make United competitive again, if he's going to make them champions again, and they're going to get back to the situation under Ferguson where they were winning Champions Leagues as well, Eamon. I suspect there is a bit of that going on. If your top player comes out and says this, it does have a kind of a very strong effect on public opinion.
Yeah, interestingly, in the context of what you're saying, the writer Jonathan Northcroft, who's very close to United and always has been since the Ferguson era, he says Ibrahimovic's comments will increase the pressure on Ed Woodward, United's executive vice chairman, to get the checkbook out for the next transfer window.
Yeah, but this is the way of the Premiership at the moment. People outside the Premiership, must be really laughing and rubbing their hands at the amount of money clubs are just throwing at players, and then within a year or 2 years, kind of discarding them, saying, well, they're not good enough, so we better go into the transfer market again. Normally a coach comes in and starts coaching the players to be better.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the trend, not only at Man United, Eamon, but at other clubs as well, where the coach comes in and says to the owner or says to the chief executive after a couple of seasons or one season, like, I need more money, these players are not good enough. But yet the players who've cost an enormous amount of money. You probably have the figures there. Since Ferguson has gone, what David Moyes and what Louis van Gaal and Mourinho have spent on players is colossal, isn't it? Absolutely colossal.
Yeah.
And yet it seems to be a kind of an agreed strategy with Mourinho and with Ibrahimovic that we need to spend big again. And they mentioned some of the players they need to spend money on as well. He seems to be well informed of the players that they're seeking to bring into the club, and one of them would be Griezmann. Now,
yes. Everybody
wants Griezmann, and Atletico Madrid are possibly sellers. So United, Ibrahimovic is saying to Woodward, like, we need the money put up. So you'll have to go to the Glazers and say, look, we need to go again.